And good morning, people. Welcome back to Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. We're doing some cases to pass the time, and I think it's time that we actually continued on and did something for progressing the story. Living doll, dead person. I warned at the end of the last part that this gets a little dark. It does. Mostly because of the content of this particular case, but also the end result. So May and Lily, both from the Occult Club, have come to us with this. Don't think it has anything to do with the occult this time. So what is the big fuss? Apparently these dolls being sold on the internet look just like these two. Super hyper ultra lookalikes. Their faces, their bodies, everything from the top to the bottom look just like them. They're so accurate, it's creepy. And they're being sold real cheap. Being bought by otaku, or I believe that's the Japanese word for pervert. I'm not completely sure. I'm not a Japanese speaker. And when they think of what they're actually, these people are actually doing to the dolls, well, which are in their likeness, yeah. Apparently it reminds Kyoko of another incident. Dicey looking service out there called the Perfect Girl Project. Use it to get a living doll made in the image of your ideal girl and live the life you've always dreamed of. But the police have been hearing about how the owners have been going missing. It's something she's discussed with Matayoshi. It does seem like there's a little bit of connection. Dolls of likeness appearing, being sold, and then the owners of those disappearing. It'd take having pretty specific data of their bodies. Apparently you might know how they're doing that. There's an LDC machine in Akihabara that looks a little suspicious. not quite what Kyoko was saying, but the Living Doll Club. Again, dolls, lightness, everything seems to be coming together. It's a machine that scans all of your body and makes a 3D printed figure of it. Could have been leaked out through that. So while Kyoko's going to dig up some things about the Perfect Girl project, maybe talk to Matayoshi a little bit more, we're going to find out something about this LDC machine. And I believe that's a product just finished. Not quite, but oh well. Anyways, I'll meet you in Akihabara. Do I need to go to the... No, I should be okay without it. So, Akihabara, the place of the LDC machines. There are a few people who like this code word. We're going to talk to as many as possible. Okay, so this person doesn't know much about it. Figure-loving nerd boy? Isn't this the person we saw at the bookshop? Or was that a different person? Possibly. This guy likes his ladies two-dimensional. The dolls are a little bit too real for him. If I've already got that, well, date's still here. There was one last person to talk to, and yeah, because it's the only one left, you can be sure that this is the correct one. This is why I avoided him in the first place. For a time there was this huge ad campaign about how it used the latest in 3D tech and whatnot. There was one in the arcade a little bit down the way. We are just across the road from the arcade. Strangely enough. And this person here has received an exclamation mark. Yeah, the arcade's just here. It's not too far away from where this man is. Tag attachment C? That's not too bad. So this odd man, who believes we're frustrated and unhappy. Are we? One of the other things about this game, it seems to be putting you in the perspective of, everyone seems to be putting it in the perspective of they're talking to the male character, even if you choose the female. There's no way of discerning it. You might have noticed that sometimes we've been called a he or a him in the dialogue. it's the same with this, I believe. We're talking to this guy, he's saying, bet you're into beautiful women. We're the female character. Maybe we are. Who are we to judge? But I believe it's more the first, it's just putting us in the perspective of the male character here. Super Ultra True Puppets. We have heard of them. And it seems like you sell them. And he's wanted to give us one for cheap. Yeah, there's a Nokia clone there. An ugly one that was made as an experiment. You're probably glad that Nokia's nowhere within 5 million miles of you right now. If she heard that, you might be knocked out quicker than a lot of things. So, are we interested in one? Well, no. How are we health-wise? Why are you asking? Considering we're in a digital body, and our real body is somewhere else, could be better, but could be worse. Bet you're bored with how your day-to-day life is going. Wouldn't you just love to throw it away and spend it with the girl of your dreams? Because with the Perfect Girl project, he can now offer exactly that. Have your ideal girl recreated and sent straight to your room as a human being. One condition that you need to abide by. Just one condition and you can be free of the tedium. And what would that be? You can never leave it for the rest of your life. That is, once it's been sent to your room, you can never leave the room for the rest of your life. Take all the time you need to think. Just get in touch and he'll make it happen. Creeped out by this guy and everything that's happened in this little case yet? If not, it gets worse. Faint digital noise signature from where we're standing. We've already seen the little digital shift pattern. We're going to dive into it. This is the machine that does the 3D printing of the girls. So we're looking for what is doing that. And you can probably guess it will be a Digimon. this area is pretty much exactly the same as when we came. It's got the same pattern as the area where we fought Digimon and the Blue Merimon in the Nagano Broadway, the air conditioning unit. It's got a few extra things, such as these new chests. However, the things that we opened before, strangely enough, are still there and still open. So it seems like they've just added a few things. Or added a few chests, but kept the overall design of the place. Which, to be honest, feels a little lazy. And as you probably saw by the fight there, the enemies haven't really gained an upgrade at all. Heck, we've still got the Keramon here. The enemy though is in a slightly different place. It's just to our right there. So yeah, that's where we're finally going, but I need to go down here to get another chest. And I need to check my Digimon. Do I have any light attacks? You do have one. And you technically have one, although it's not really that good. So Sylphimon can come in for Nightmon. To be honest, don't worry about the vaccine data virus. This enemy is none of them. Infamon. Take people's data, make dolls from it. Lots of dolls, dolls that eat souls, then people become dolls. Dolls are lifelike, people are deathlike. Who are we? We're the people who are interfering. Yeah. So, Infamon. Neutral, also no base type, but it is dark, so Holy Light should do a fair amount. Yeah, 367. I'd say that's a fair amount. And this should finish it. Oh, not quite. 160. Infamon, I believe, is ultimate level. So we're sort of going up against something our own size. But it is just a single Digimon against 3, and well, we seem to have advantages. 2,356 experience, not too bad. No levels though. Oh wait, yes we did get a level. I'm just not seeing it. Nothing gained, but that's fine. Something on the ground. Mysterious URL. Did we just come out of the LDC machine? Well, I'm a cyber sleuth, and you are doing some very illegal activities. If there's anything he's still good at, it's running away. So, that salesman and the Digimon working together. We've got rid of the Digimon, so that should stop things that the salesman's doing. And since these two use the LDC, they used it to create puppets of them. We didn't arrest the guy, we got him cornered. He probably won't pull anything again like this again soon. Problem is, the damage has been done. We know each doll looks like, each doll's looks are derived from a real person and used to help sway potential candidates to join the project. So what is this Perfect Girl project? People who are part of it have been disappearing. Some rather useful information about anyone who has joined the project. Once the Dream Girl is sent to the room, they can never leave that room, ever. And there was a URL left. We're going to go to that URL and check it out. This is a one-time sort of thing that we go into this. And this is where the explanation and the reality of what's been going on show its ugly face. So we are in Eden. And this one boy is surrounded by five dolls that have been given to him by the Perfect Girl project. This place is getting crowded. Is this his room? It is to him. He doesn't recognize that he's in cyberspace. As promised, he stayed locked up in his room with his dolls. Remember, to join the project, you have to stay holed up in your room for the rest of your life. In reality, he was lured into Eden. And he's living there with those girls while he's unconscious. The life he's leading is one big lie. Anyone who is falling prey to this scam is imprisoning themselves inside cyberspace, thinking they've never left the real world. Jurugumu is a mythical spider who appears as a beautiful woman to attract men to a waterfall. They plunge in for her and die at her hands. The origin of the name of the company that this happens, this Perfect Girl project comes from. So why go through all the trouble of locking the victims up in their room and then imprison them in cyberspace? If they're stuck inside Eden and thinking they're still in the real world and don't log out, all that's left in the locked rooms are living bodies, which can be used for any number of things. According to police investigations, these bodies are no longer there, carried off by a third party and taken overseas. These bodies are just going out there like literal dolls. No life. Perfectly human dolls. It's just a theory. Or so they say. Well, so she's saying. On one hand, his body might be lost forever. On the other hand, he might still be able to be saved if he can log out. But we should be prepared for the worst. Nowhere to log out. And that's how it's left. That boy is stuck in cyberspace. I'm not sure how I feel about our involvement with that. On one hand, we did our best to save this person. We got to the bottom of the case, and no one else hopefully is going to be succumbing to this scam, this issue. But that one person now knows he's in cyberspace, surrounded by is trapped there, surrounded by these dolls that he considered were his perfect girls. Trapped. Nowhere to leave. Knowing that he's living a false life now. And we've left it at that. Sure, there's likely nothing we can do. It's sort of like a reverse version of the Eden syndrome. The Eden syndrome is their physical body is available, but their memory data, which was taken by the eaters, has gone. So the body in real life is lifeless, but still alive. In this case, the memory data is still there. The person is still alive in Eden, but their body is gone. One is no better than the other. I honestly do not know what to think about that case. I don't even know why and how it got past any sort of controls to be put in this game. It certainly shouldn't, in my opinion. Especially in a game that is as a Digimon game, targeted towards a younger audience. I have very, very mixed feelings about that particular case. I do not like it, do not know how it got into the game, and I believe it shouldn't have been here. Especially considering it's part of the story to continue it on. That is actually a necessary case that you have to do to continue the story. Once I've got the reward for that, the story continues. So next time, we continue on the story. And I hope I never have to deal with that particular case or anything like that in this game again, because that is not something that should have been in this game, flat out. So, until next time, have a wonderful game. Well, have a wonderful day. Have lots of fun.